All right. So Backpack Paddlers came out, and all three of us have tried it now,
Indeed.
and I'm obsessed with it.
Tried it.
Yeah, play it
But
daily now.
Tried it, dude.
It's
Been a little bit more than tried it.
dude, it's a demo, and it's got to be one of the best demos I've ever played in my life. And
yeah, it's
go ahead.
uh it's like for an auto battler that is so like infant, like it's in such an infancy for it to be so much fun for how little I've played it compared to you guys. It's like it's bonkers.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's adjusting sound, sorry. It's something about the fact that it has like a ranking system and the way that it's got like such a clear-cut uh meta game already. I don't know. It just feels already like a completed game and it's still in a demo state. But it comes out what, April of 2024, I think.
I think
Uh
yeah, something
I'm
like that.
looking on the Steam page right now, April 2024.
Yeah, man. That game's gonna be so good. When it fully comes
I,
out, go ahead.
I keep fucking cutting you off. My bad. So like, what's really funny about it is like I was watching Ed play it, and I was like, "Oh, what is this game? This game looks kind of like weird but fun at the same time."
hmm
And like, it wasn't until I put my hands into it that I was like, "Wow, it's actually like pretty enjoyable." I mean, I'm still in the infancy of learning what combos with what, and like the way I don't know. Eddie's got quite the mind for it. He's got 13 hours on this game compared to like me and Justin's like 3 to 5. So
yeah, I mean, I think it's impressive the amount of depth that they've been able to pack into a game that only has two classes.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. When you think of other stuff that are kind of like this, I mean, I think of like Across the Obelisk and what's the other one that we
hmm
played? The not
Mon
Across the Obelisk, but like the one where you like go up in the track and it's
Monster
three.
Train?
Not Monster Train, the one with the it was like the first one, Slay the Spire, Slay the Spire.
Oh, Slay
So
the
like
Spire.
it
mhm.
it's kind of like Slay the Spire, but instead like everybody's character is the monster that you're fighting, and you're fighting more their inventory than their character itself. It's just kind of intriguing to me, and like I mean an example of this is like last night when we were watching Dom play before we all got on,
Mhm.
and he's sitting there like, oh well, you know, trying to figure out his build, whatever. And as we're explaining things to him, we're like, oh, the bags have stuff. Oh God, dogs. The bags have like an ability on it. He's like, what? I didn't even know that. Oh, you can use the arrow keys to like move your whole bag. Oh wow, like
Yeah.
they
Yep.
have like stuff baked into it. I mean, they don't have a great tutorial yet, but like they
No.
have stuff
Yeah.
baked into the game that's like meant for like long lasting success.
Yeah, I think it's really cool how the game itself has just taken a different turn on the auto battler mechanics. I like how it's like if you ever played Super Auto Pets, it's got that same system where it's like at its core, it's a very simple auto battler. There's not a lot that like goes into it, but
Mm.
then there's all of this like extra like next level thought process that goes behind the scenes to the game. So it's not just like throw you in and it's all this like really complicated strategy. Instead, it's like, oh, this is really simple to pick up and learn, and then the complicated strategy you kind of learn on your own over time.
Yeah, I think once the game comes out in full release, I mean, so it's weird because I see this game as competitive, but the actual format of it, like you're playing against real people, but not in real time. So like, in what well, that's how Eddie explained it to me. So it's like I can see this being a really cool like tournament bracket structure as well. Like just like one-on-one battles, you get like buy rounds and things like that. I could see it being like actually enjoyable to watch as well. Like genuinely like I can in my brain, I think like, oh, like if I watched like me playing it, watching the battle like go through with 3 times speed, it's like you're clenching your butt cheeks halfway through or a quarter of the way through the battle. But like I can only imagine if it was like, 2 players in a high stakes like back and forth, you know what I mean? I don't
Yeah,
know, it's just kind of cool.
it would be really cool if like they had like a weekly tournament that you could join into, and it was like like almost like an open Swiss round followed by like a
Yeah,
top 64, and then that's like
right.
single elimination. Because of the way it's set up, you could like play your rounds whenever, and
Hmm.
then you could just have like either in-game cosmetics as your prize, or you could even do like real cash for the masters tier players and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Something cool, kind of along the same vein of what you guys are talking about. Something that I think that it would really do well with is if they brought back Twitch Rivals, dude. They fucking did Twitch
Oh
Rivals with that game, bro. It would go
Yeah.
crazy.
Hmm.
That
Cause
would
like
be cool.
the game would fit so well in how they do like Call of Duty and Tarkov, where like there's like 30 people in this tournament, but you're just playing your own game, and how whatever you get, you get. You know, however many trophies you get in a certain amount of games, that's your ladder.
It also doesn't require you in like the context of Twitch rivals, like specifically with Tarkov, because that's what I play most. Like Twitch rivals and Tarkov, everybody's playing Twitch rivals at the same time. With a game like this, there's no necessary time frame in which people have to do what they're doing, right? Like
Hmm.
in this, you can play Twitch, you can go on, hop on, play Twitch rivals, like play in a Twitch rival style tournament with nobody on. You know what I mean? Because it's so um like maybe the game could implement there's a world where like the game implements like a tournament code where like you play against other people in a certain like group per se, you know what I mean? Whereas like your pre-constructed like opponents are from a set like group that is already established, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That way you could that way you could play against people in like even like a cash tournament. Like if I'm thinking like obviously you don't really want to do that cuz like RMT or whatever, but like you could set up like a cash tournament. Like if it was us 3 and then maybe like 3 or 4 of our buddies, we all like Venmo one person, we all get into a group, we play through our group. We all don't have to do it instantly, but by the time everybody gets through all their rounds and they've lost all their life, we know who the winner is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which
I
is really cool.
I think custom lobbies would go a long way for this game if you just had,
Crazy.
yeah, ways to play with just people that you knew, and then you could
Mhm.
just set it up to where, I mean, that might with custom lobbies that might require some real time action because you don't have a pool of people to pull from, or you could just set up your backpack and click OK, and then it would maybe say like waiting for opponent or something. Um,
Right.
yeah, and then it would line you guys up and have you fight after everyone's ready. But
Or you could have like a queuing system as well, where like if you're now the highest person in the lobby, but people still have lives, you go into this. You have a group queue of sorts where like someone doesn't hop on very often, or a couple people don't hop on very often, but there's active players. If you're like one round above everybody else, you get basically a waiting session start screen, and then until that player finishes their previous round, where they would essentially fight against you. You know what I mean?
yeah,
You'll bump them up after they finish their game, so you're allowed to play in that group again.
that would be kind of like a league-based system. I think that would be really cool too.
Effectively, yeah, but it could all be in one match though, right? Like
Hmm.
it doesn't because I mean, as of right now, there's no time frame for a match to be finished. You can kind of just bang through it. But
Yeah.
like if you have a set amount of people, you have to make a certain like hierarchy of who's finished most, right? Because like you can't play somebody who's had more opportunity than you can't play against somebody who's had more opportunity than you because you're almost guaranteed to lose. So like if someone's played 8 games and one person's played 7 games, that person who's played 7 games will play you at 7 games, and then if they beat you, then you have a chance to play them at their 8 and your 8. You see what
Hmm.
I mean? So it's like it's kind of cool. I could see that being insane.
It would
I
also.
like
Oh, go ahead, Eddie.
I like the idea that you guys are coming up with, but I feel like it kind of cuts off like part of the beauty of the game. Because like the whole thing that I like about it, I think we talked about this at length last night, is like I love just getting into a game and I'm not facing real people, but I am facing real people. It's
Hmm.
almost like you're facing like a point in time in somebody's build. You know, you're not ever facing the current build, but you're facing, like you're saying, the person at round 7 when you're at round 7.
Right.
Yeah.
So I feel like part of the beauty of it is that you just get in and you can rip these games. You guys have seen me spend 2 seconds on setting up my backpack, and you've seen me spend 35 minutes setting up my backpack, you
Yeah.
know?
Yep.
And no matter what, when I click that ready to go button, it's 1, 2, 3, you're in it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yep.
I mean,
So
I
like I
could
feel like that could break it up in a way that changes the game. Um, one other thing, just to get away from like talking about tournaments and talking about the game itself,
mm-hmm.
uh, I really appreciate, and I think I said this to Justin yesterday, that they're taking something from like a gotcha game and like
Yeah.
making it so that I want to play it. You
Mm-hmm.
know, like I want to play the gotcha game, but I don't want to get gotcha'd by the gotcha game. You know, like I want to play that game. I like auto games. Like I like the game to play itself. Like I use my brain. I press play. I beat the other person's brain. Like the game just plays itself. I love that. But
Yeah.
every other instance of that happening, the game's trying to rinse money out of you.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah.
it's going out of style. This game doesn't do that.
Yeah.
Everything that you can get is just it's there. I mean, I don't know what their payment model will look like when it comes out, whether they'll do battle pass, whatever they do. But I think they're in a really good position to make a game that like people aren't uh people don't feel like they gotta put more money into it.
Yeah.
They can just play it however they want, and it just it's almost like if you weren't there, the game would play itself anyways, you know. And I kind of like that. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. I mean, also, it's surprising that for a free game, and I mean, I guess it's so new, we haven't really
It's a
experienced it
demo. We
yet.
don't know if it's gonna be free.
Yeah. I mean, we don't know if it's going to be free. We don't know if it's going to even have ads.
Yeah.
Like the thing that sucks about a lot of those gotcha games is you get the ad, you have to wait through 30 seconds of ads after every round. It's kind of, I
Well,
mean,
yeah,
let's
but
pray to God that doesn't happen. But if it's, I mean, Steam
yeah.
games on average don't have that anyways.
So the gotcha game aspect I'm talking about though is like if this was a gotcha game, you'd have to sit there for however long farming your materials or whatever for a certain pull, and then you'd have a chance at getting the character. You know what I'm saying? And then you can play the game.
Oh, right, right,
Now
right, right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
this is just you just come in, you have the character, you do the auto battle, you set it up. There's nothing like I can't use my wallet to enhance that in any
Right,
way. You know what I'm
right.
saying?
Hmm.
So, well,
Yeah.
you can go on with your point, Justin. I think I cut you off at the beginning of that one.
It would be cool that I really like how they have a trophy system set up and the way that they've kind of got like ways to unlock cosmetics and give you kind of a reward based system for achieving goals in the game, right? So
Hmm.
that kind of idea of people can play the game and have a reason to spend hours in the game apart from enjoying the actual play style. I think the play style obviously carries itself. Like I haven't bought in any cosmetics from with the trophies yet. I've just been enjoying playing the game, but I think it's really cool that they have
Hoard
like
them,
I
hoard them.
I
My
just
pile of trophies.
I just think it's really cool that with my pile of trophies, I actually have something I can do with them. Or I could just like flex on people and be like, look at my 40,000 trophies I've got from
Y- Yeah,
climbing.
you like the idea of being able to do something with them, but you're gonna hold on to them anyways. You're like, but I could if I wanted
Yeah,
to do
exactly.
something. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. I think that's really
Nah,
cool though.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they can go when the full release comes out too. I'm really excited to see their like quote unquote campaign mode if they do one because like I can see like the Hearthstone aspect of this game. I don't want to compare it to Hearthstone because they're so different, but like how Hearthstone does their campaigns where you don't I mean, some of them you have to purchase, which kind of sucks, but I mean, I can see them doing that where like you get a new backpack champion or character if you go through a campaign and finish a campaign,
Hmm.
or you get like new backpack skins or something along those lines as well. I mean, you don't have to do that, but I'm saying I think I can see that being cool as well
Yeah, if they had
for
kind of
sure.
had like a single player campaign that you could play through that would be like you versus a bunch of like bot pre-made backpack setups, and then
Mm-hmm.
you would get to the final boss, and the final boss would be really difficult and would have like a goated backpack, and you'd have to like figure out a way to beat these specific opponents at these specific times,
Yeah.
and then you
I
would
mean, that could
unlock
be a way
stuff.
that they bake in their tutorial, you
Yeah,
know?
that's
True.
true.
Yeah, they
Like,
could do that
and
too.
just
Yeah.
kind of like, you know, maybe you do like maybe you kind of tell them what to build almost like, oh, like for the first couple ones, be like, oh, this guy, you know, maybe thorns would be a good idea or whatever. Like make like some sort of little background for them to,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I'd be like, oh, this guy's weakness is thorns, and then like you kind of like, if they could work that into where, you know, it kind of defines not the meta, but like just kind of like the different like styles, like the different kind of builds that you can do,
Hmm.
kind of gets the wheels turning, and then you can kind of start like, oh, well, the thorns works really well with holy, and like, oh, well, like
Mm-hmm.
this and that could be good together, and then like that's my favorite part of the game is like
Yeah.
when I'm playing a build that I think is overpowered, and then some guy just comes over here with like six like of the purple potions. I Justin saw this last night,
Yeah.
dude. I was like, this guy's a like, and he just one shot me from like half health, dude. I was like, what the fuck is this? But I'm like, some of that, it's like the Wild West out there in that game. And I feel like when it does get a full release, like like that'll become less and less, you know?
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
they'll tone that back in, you know, development and like kind of tuning the game. But like, dude, right now is probably the most fun we're gonna have with the game because like some crazy, like everything's new, everything's crazy. Like when those new classes get released, that'll be fucking nuts too.
Yep.
Um. Yeah.
Oop.
I. Oh. Oh. Oh.
Oh,
Go ahead.
oh,
No, go ahead. No, you
Oh.
go
Oh.
ahead.
Your turn.
I put that oop in there so Justin could censor my foul mouth.
um, I also hate that it's so good so early because of the sheer fact that it only sets up for disappointment if they screw it up. Like I want it to be so good. I've played less than Ed, so this might be kind of a hot take, but I think just genuinely like there's only room to get better, but I think on average from a lot of the games we know, uh there's like too much room to screw up as well, which is kind of scary.
Yeah, but
Like
indie companies are really good about not screwing that stuff up because they have so much liberty and freedom to make decisions. They're not tied
they
to
try
a
to be extra
quota.
careful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think
I mean, I've
I,
oh, go ahead.
I don't expect them to mess it up. It would be kind of like from other games, it would be kind of difficult to mess this up because the core foundation of the game itself is already so good. But
Yeah.
it would take it is possible though.
Yeah. I would
Yeah,
just hate to see it happen.
I feel like they could add like if they like add like some dumb, like if they do some League of Legends shit where they're like, ah, here's the new poster girl for our game. We're releasing the Jinx class, and like, ah, well, if you get, you know, all 5 pieces of Exodia, the game just ends and you win. And it's
Yeah.
like, but like at the same time, something that like kind of what Justin was saying, that they've kind of set themselves up for success is you are never facing an actual person.
Right.
So
Yeah.
like as a person who's played plenty of card games, plenty of auto battlers, and gotten mad at the like I can't get mad at this game because I'm facing people that don't even exist.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like I can't get mad that they're building this because it's literally just like somebody's build at some point. I could have built all those things. So like I
Right.
mean, I guess that's kind of like you could say that for like League of Legends, like, oh, I could have picked this
Well,
character, but like,
it's different when it comes down to like with card games, it's all about like, ah, do you have the collection that beats out your
yeah,
opponent,
yes,
right?
yes,
Or if
yes,
it's like
yes, yes,
TFT where it's like, okay, I've got all of the pieces. I got the best pieces on the carousel. I like got the best
yep,
passive traits at these
dude,
times in the
that
lobby.
carousel.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is like yeah, dude.
I
I
hate that
agree.
idea,
I
dude.
think the
That is
carousel's
a
dumb.
terrible idea,
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
It gets people who played the game poorly,
and
like gets them too far back into the game.
I intentionally swore there because I hate it so much.
well, you got to think
That
about it.
carousel is. is terrible.
The TFT standpoint is like, because everyone's alive and in an active lobby, like one guy can get luckier than you and it feels that much
Yeah.
worse. Yeah.
Well, it's also like, who does that benefit, dude? Because like, all right, the people who are severely boned in the game, yeah, they get to pick first. But the people who are not that, who are doing amazing get to pick last. But the people who are doing amazing don't care about the carousel. The people who are like behind will grab whatever, and then everybody in the middle is screwed, which
Yeah.
is
Yeah, I
like
think
70% of your lobby.
Yeah, I think part of the issue with the carousel is that it incentivizes for a lot of people. It incentivizes poor play. Like that's why you have these like what do they call it, Justin? Where it's like the money strat where you just lose out for the first 8 rounds. It's Demon Kings or something like that, Dragon Kings. Like you have the
Oh
Dragon Kings
yeah,
like
the
play
Dragon
style in
King setup.
TFT
Yeah.
where yeah, you play Tom Kench and you just stack bread by like losing the least amount of health possible, and then that enables you to get like the best pieces for free off carousel. And then 9 times out of 10, second carousel, third carousel, you're getting one legendary character with like a busted item, and then this person just has their 300 and something gold that they roll down to get their 3 or 4 tier 3 legendaries, and then they just steamroll the rest of the lobby. It's just irritating, and I think it's clever play, but I think it's bad etiquette because you're incentivized to play poorly, and I think
So,
it's stupid.
So I was kind of at a TFT before it really got popular, but
Yeah,
does that game's like pulls change depending on what round? Like
it's pool based.
are there more legendaries at round 6 than at, round 3?
In the
You know what I'm
So
car-
saying? Like how does
round.
that work?
Yeah, go ahead, Jay.
in the carousel, they each consecutive carousel adds stronger pieces to the
Yep.
bottom side of it. So like by the third or fourth carousel, you're seeing legendaries in the carousel, which only the people in last can get. And not only
Yep.
that, but I think that the carousel incentivizes toxic gameplay, or like toxic
Like to tank
Oh,
yourself almost at the
or
beginning
like
to get
or
like
like
something good,
drafting. Yeah,
well, not even that, but also just like sitting there.
taking what other people need.
Yeah, walking up to the carousel,
Yep.
standing there and waiting for somebody to go for something and then taking it from them.
Yeah, and just grabbing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the idea that two people pick at the same time is like actually insane
Yeah.
because that is just 100% RNG. Like, oh, is my piece rotating around the carousel on my toes the second I get unlocked to grab, or
yeah,
is it on the other side and the other guy's just gonna get it?
but
Because
Yeah.
a lot of
also
that is like you're not even grabbing the character. You're grabbing for items most of the time on those carousels, right? So
Yep.
like if you're not in the last grabbing like a legendary, like Justin said, you're going for like utility on your. I feel like
yeah.
I don't know.
Going along with your question though, Ed, like the thing about TFT too is legendary like all the loot, like all the pieces in TFT are pool based. So like if someone's drafting one thing, like let's say they're holding on to like 4 or 5 Samiras just for like
Yeah, there's like
reference.
less for the
There's
rest
less
of the
in the
group.
pool
Yeah.
for the rest of the
Yep.
people. So
Yep.
like the problem with Dragon Kings is they grab 2 or 3 highly contested pieces because they're parts of like super high comps, so that the likelihood of them losing a round by X amount of life goes down because that person can't get their pieces. But
Yeah.
then also, because they're hoarding cash, they just keep pumping cash into their levels. And the higher your level is in TFT, the more pieces you can put on board and the more rares you get in your pools. So so that's why that not only are they losing to get those high drops out of carousels, but they're losing to
Hmm.
get the high drops out of pools as well. So then once people who had a good early to mid game comp get to their high levels, like yeah, they were rolling down to try and hit their pieces early, but now they're out of gold. They need one legendary to make their comp unbeatable. Now this person that just hit level 9 at like stage 5 is winning the game with all the level 3 pieces, and there's none left for anybody else, which is like a legitimate strategy, but it's somewhat irritating because there's so much poor play that goes into the beginning of it. It's like I don't know, it's very hateful play, I
Yeah.
guess. I don't know. Maybe it
It,
just doesn't incentivize like good good etiquette, I guess.
It feels backwards almost. It feels like they've designed the
That's what I mean.
strategy to go backwards. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. They just the I don't think it's a design fault. I think that was one of the things that just like players did, and the devs were like, oh, we didn't think of that, and
Yeah.
Dude,
then
that's why I think Backpack Battlers is so fresh, dude. Like
because it
you
doesn't
don't have to
incentivize that,
compete.
right?
You're competing, right? I'm getting rank, but I'm
Right,
not competing with anyone else. I'm just competing against like, does my game knowledge beat this person's game knowledge at this round? And it doesn't have to be a person in my lobby. It could be anyone. Who knows? Maybe I've faced Justin's build at some point. Just us ripping.
right.
Around the same time. But like I really enjoy that like that competitive edge with like a disconnect from like actually playing against someone. Something that really keeps me from playing TFT is I want to play games with you guys, right? But I
Yeah,
don't want to play TFT with you guys because I know that we're all relatively like when we get into games we get good at them. And we all are going to play the best and
and get
I
frustrated with
I
each other.
just swore a bunch again. But the we all want to play the best builds.
Yeah,
And I don't ever want to be in a situation where I'm taking something away from you guys just because it's like that's the build,
right.
like I'm sorry that I'm taking your stuff. And I've heard it like not like I kind of didn't really play when you guys were all into it, but like I've heard, you being like, "Ah, you're really taking that from me." But it's
Yeah.
like
Right, yeah.
yeah, but I'm also trying to win the game.
Right.
And I like the idea that me, Justin, you are all playing the same game. We're all getting rank, and it's not like there's no pressure to worry about what other people are building.
Yeah,
You know?
see, me and Justin come from like I mean, you play competitive card games too, but like me and Justin, we still actively try and play like Magic the Gathering and stuff. So maybe the competitive nature in us, it doesn't bother us as much, but like I mean, I definitely agree with you. Like when you're playing with your homies, you just want to like chill out and vibe, and you can't really vibe when you're trying to like just destroy your homies and like take their winnings away from the I get that.
That's something I noticed with Backpack Battlers is it's one of those games that is a single player game that you can play with your friends.
Yeah.
It's so easy to just put up 3 screen shares and play alongside your friends and like feel like you're playing with them because you can talk about
Hmm.
your strategy as you're going.
Right. Dude, call me crazy too. Tell me this wouldn't actually be such a cool tabletop game if they put it in paper in some way.
That would
You could
be
absolutely,
tough.
you could absolutely make it like die roll based. Like, think about it. As of right now, it's all RNG on what hits when, right? So like, because effectively it's turn based, right? Like they activate their stuff, we activate our stuff, and then stamina regens. They activate their stuff, I activate my stuff,
I
stamina
mean,
regens.
I feel like that would be a cool idea, but I feel like it would really like majorly dilute like the depth of the game. Like, there's a
Yeah, that's
lot that you
fair.
can do. There's a lot that you can do in a video game that's really hard to display. Like, and I'm not saying that it couldn't be done, but it's just like that would.
No,
The
I'm
game is
definitely
so
reaching a bit.
simple.
I'm
The
definitely
game is
reaching a bit.
so simple online, but if you put all that into like a card format, it's just it would. I feel like people would get bored with it before they learned it.
It would,
Yeah, that's fair.
yeah, it would just be either overly complicated or they would have to dumb down the entire idea to make it on
Yeah.
paper.
Yeah.
Yep. But it would be cool. I mean, I love paper games, dude. I went to PAX one year. Uh, Kid Matt from college actually took me for free.
Oh, lit.
And I went to PAX, and I didn't spend a second at any of the video gaming booths at PAX. Half
Oh,
of
you were at all
PAX
the card ones?
was half of PAX was a board game section, dude.
That's
And the
lit.
coolest part of PAX for me was just walking around talking to all the people that spend their days just like making card games and like board games. And they would be like, "Oh, you want to buy my game?" And I'd be like, "I'm on the fence." And they're like, "I'll play you right now, bro. Let's go." And I'm like, "All right, like that's the best marketing you could have." And like they're just telling me, how to play and stuff, and they're playing with me whenever.
Yeah.
That stuff's really cool.
Yeah.
And
Y-
I do get why you bring up a tabletop game because like Backpack Battlers kind of brings that kind of
It
feel,
feel yeah, it feels like a game that like you throw on a table and you just play with the homies. And because
Yep.
nobody like realistically when you're playing with your homies in person, I guess it's different obviously because it's 1v1 kind of deal. Like you're facing each other. But like face value playing it on my computer, it feels like a tabletop game. Like it feels like you're playing Monopoly on your computer, you know? It's weird. I don't know. It's hard to explain. Maybe I'm explaining it poorly, but it doesn't feel like a it feels competitive, but it doesn't feel competitive because there's no
Yeah.
stakes really. I mean, there's a ranked mode, but the ranked mode doesn't feel like if I lost, 3-4, like if I lost like I got 3 trophies and I lost lost out, I'd be like, "All right, let's just go with another one." And like you can get up and leave whenever you want. It's not like a competitive league game. It's not like a Magic the Gathering game where now you're frustrated with your homie and you walk
Yeah.
away. It's
I
like
mean, Justin and I started getting to the higher ranks last night. I
Yep.
can guarantee you right now, if I were to get less than 7 trophies in a game, I'd be hurting. I'd be losing
really,
Yeah.
like 30 minutes. I'd be losing
so
like
it's
30
tough.
minutes to an
Okay,
hour of time because
okay.
we're at the point where you win 7 games, you get 0 ranked points.
Oh, really?
You get 4 for winning 10 rounds.
So rank system's terrible, or rank, or
No,
or it's
it's
fine. It's just
good.
tough.
It's good. It's just you gotta like once you're up in platinum, dude, you have to win those 10 games.
Okay,
If you don't
okay.
win those 10 games, you're not moving.
Yeah,
Like you'll get like 1 or 2 points,
your rank
but
points from platinum come from the survival bonus almost primarily.
I'm probably what do you think, Justin? Like 6 or 7 games into platinum? I can check what my I think I'm
Oh,
like
you're
under
actually up there.
We're both
yeah,
in
but I'm
platinum.
not though. We're both in platinum.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
like
I haven't played that much compared to you guys then, like at all.
Well, it's not. I don't think it takes that much to get into platinum. I mean, you get
Yeah.
a couple 15 rounds, you're up there. But I think the
Yeah.
true challenge is going to be getting through platinum. I mean, I think we'll do it, but just however much time it takes, you know. And
Right.
I wonder what their rank system is after like the named ranks. If there's like if it's just like oh you get to the top and you're at the top, or if it's like
There's like a master's
kind of like
leaderboard.
Hearthstone. Yeah,
Yeah.
like Hearthstone or something where there's like the whole, the whatever the legendary ranks are, and you have an actual rank. Like, could I be rank 1? I
Yeah,
don't know.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, like having a worldwide leaderboard. Also, you run into the thing too where I may be stretching again, but I could totally see this on mobile. Easy. Easy
Oh
on
yeah.
mobile.
Oh
Oh
On
yeah.
yeah.
This
phone,
game could
dude.
hit mobile
Mobile,
no
dude,
doubt.
I
this
would
game would
play
absolutely slap on mobile.
I would play the
Oh
dickens out of
yeah.
this
Oh yeah,
on
dude.
my phone. I
But
mean, as of
there's
right
so
now, I
many
play
games
Clash
like that.
Royale on my phone. Yeah, as of right now, I've been playing Clash Royale on my phone, and like that's like nothing compared. I would play this 10 times
My
over that.
Dude, my whole thing is though, like you'd think these games like, Slay the Spire and stuff like that would get mobile
Yeah,
adaptations and they
no,
haven't.
Slay,
They
Slay,
haven't.
crazy.
oh, Slay
So
the
it's
Spire
like,
does have a mobile
does
Oh,
adaptation.
it?
they
It
do.
It does
does.
now?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it came out not too long ago. It's like
Oh,
it's
okay.
$10 on
That's good
mobile.
to know.
Yeah. But I know what you mean. A
That's
lot of
cool.
these like indie games like Vampire Survivors and stuff like
Yeah.
that, they don't have these
Yeah.
mobile adaptations that come out with like the release of the game. And then
Well, the
once
issue is you got 1,500 companies that are ready to make a knockoff version and make
Yep.
a, what are they gonna do, man? Like the
Yep.
knockoff version's been out for a year by the time they get like it all squared away.
Yeah.
Funny
And
enough,
it's like,
sometimes the
everybody's already played it.
Yeah.
yeah, funny enough, sometimes the knockoff versions end up like kind of being better because the devs keep up with them more
Uh,
for whatever reason.
Yeah, but just as somebody who like was going to try to be in the, development space of
Yeah,
video games, I just think that's scummy.
yeah, I
Yeah.
Like
agree.
it's
No, I
just
agree.
I don't know how people get away with that, man. Like that's literally like other people's intellectual property, but like they can like kind of like dance around it because oh my game's not Slay the Spire, it's Kill the Spiral. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's
Yeah.
like
It's not
you're trying
Vampire
to
Survivors, it's Survivor.io.
it's Survive the Vampire.
Yeah,
Like
it's like it's
they
like
don't even
Drake taking a
try,
line.
dude.
It's
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
they
Drake
don't.
taking a line from somebody's song and saying, "I said it first." Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
stupid. Yeah,
It's just like it's just whack.
Yeah.
yeah, it is
You
whack.
know
But
what else is whack? Diablo 4.
Diablo
facts, yo.
4, dude. That game
I'm
continues to disappoint.
disappointed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That,
Okay, if this is telling at all, I sat here doing nothing else but watch the download bar of Diablo 4 the other day. Remember you guys came in, I
Yeah.
think it was you, Justin.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
I'm re-downloading Diablo 4. I wasn't doing anything. I was sitting here watching the load button. I launch it. I look at the create a new character thing and I go, that'll be all. And I get right off, dude.
You know
And
what I did, dude?
I noticed
Oh, you you
just
wanted
let
to.
me
Okay,
finish
okay,
this one
okay.
real quick. I noticed that I had more fun watching the download bar than actually being in the video game, dude. And I was like, I don't,
So
I don't know how that works, dude.
for me, dude, the other day I was in the same boat. I was getting really, I was in between builds on PoE, and I was like, okay, I need to kill time. I've got nothing better to do besides wait an AFK trade. So I did the same thing. I downloaded Diablo 4, watched the download bar, launched the game, and as I was finishing making my character, I got a big ticket trade, and I was saying to myself,
Yep.
thank God I don't have to play Diablo 4.
That's so great, dude.
Yeah. Yeah,
It
man.
just doesn't. That game does not incentivize me. I love Diablo campaigns. I
Hmm.
really do. I could just absolutely mess up a Diablo campaign any day of the week. But as soon as I do that, it just doesn't interest me anymore, man. They just don't do what Path of Exile does.
Yeah.
They just don't.
Yeah.
It's not. It can't keep me around. And I know I don't really play Path anymore, and like I've never played Path like you play Path, but like I stuck around with that game far longer than I ever did with Diablo 3 and it's definitely Diablo 4.
Yeah.
And I barely even played. I have 2 resurrected, but I really didn't play it cuz it's like, I don't know. That's like a completely different language to me. I don't even know what's going on in that game.
Yeah. Me as a me as not an ARPG player at all, like playing Diablo 4 with you guys from like campaign wise from beginning to end was fantastic. Like
It was fun when we were all
I
gaming.
yeah, when I was younger I played a little bit of Diablo 3. Like I didn't play a lot. I kind of downloaded it for, S's and G's and like was like, "All right, I'll give it a shot." And then didn't played a tiny bit and didn't play through it, but like after playing that, like I'm like, "Okay, ARPGs are sick." But then you get really depressed because like the game doesn't incentivize to play you after the fact. The end game content's terrible.
Yeah.
So like so I get to the point now where like okay, now I'm looking at other ARPGs. I look at PoE, what Justin plays, 5,000 hours a league, and I sit here and I go, "Okay, this game is cool, but it came out in like 2007." And it's like really it looks really outdated. It like I'm one of those guys that likes to look at a game and see what a game like I like a visually appealing game, and it just doesn't do that for me. Whereas like everything else in the game is sick, like the way you build, the way you like craft items, all that. I watched Justin do all that and it's awesome. But like as of right now, I don't want to dive my face and my whole body and my life into that game because I want PoE 2 to be insane and I don't want to ruin possibly PoE 2 by playing PoE 1 and having like
A bad
not a
time.
not a yeah, I don't want to have a bad time with PoE 1 and have it ruin
And
PoE
have a
2.
Jade PoE. Yeah, I
Right.
Yeah.
get that.
So it's
I
like
think an important thing to understand, I think Justin will echo this, is like they're going to be entirely different games.
Yeah.
and I think that's what I'm kind of understanding now, and that's also now even more of a reason why I don't want to play it because why I don't want to play PoE as it sits now because it also is a separate game, and I don't
Because
see
you
that
want to
as
play
appealing.
baby PoE. You want to
Yeah,
play
I
the
guess.
baby
I
doo-doo
I
brain
I
PoE
guess so. I don't know, but
where
like
what's his face? The baby birds the gameplay into your mouth.
I don't know. I looking at all the trailers and stuff for PoE 2, it looks like a better version. It looks like what Diablo 4 should have been. And I think it looks phenomenal.
Diablo.
I just really hope it doesn't give me the Diablo 4 like ick,
I
dude.
don't I don't
That's
think
I
it
right.
will,
really
dude.
hope that.
I think the major issue with Diablo 4, and it's the same thing that happened with Diablo 3. Literally, when I stopped playing Diablo 3, I said to myself, I hope to God Diablo 4 does not integrate the same end game mechanic gameplay loop as they did in Diablo 3. That's the only
And what
thing.
did they do?
Oh, they did exactly that. But that's the one thing they couldn't do. It was make the end game loop terrible, and they did exactly that. The end game loop is so boring, and
Yeah.
with
I can
PoE,
remember you like shot past us and like you're like, "Oh yeah, this is how you level up." And we just ran that one dungeon over and over again.
over and
And we didn't have
over.
to move, dude.
Yeah,
Like
I
you
just
would
carried
just
you
clear the
guys through it.
dungeon, we'd just be like, "All right, well," and I would like you'd be like, "Oh, the butcher's here." And I'd be like, "Oh, I'll go get him off of you."
Yep.
I
And
mean,
then
I guess
that was
that's like
it.
the blessing and the curse of having Justin as a friend who has so many hours in PoE. Is like PoE is Tarkov to Diablo 4 being Call of Duty, right? Like it's one of those things where like Justin just could hype like where he's so fast at getting through PoE leagues, he's even that much faster getting through Diablo. So like when I'm so far behind because it's my first like my first game, my first ARPG, Justin's just like, "All right, dude, I'm done. You want to come hang out with me?" And I'm like, "Dude, I'm level 13 and I have nothing." And he's like, "Yeah, we'll get you stuff." I'm like, "Cool." And
Yeah.
like it's cool, but it sucks also at the same time because you
Yeah.
want to play by yourself, but also not. You want to play with the homies, you know?
Yeah.
I just like
I've
Path gives you literally so many different pathways to do anything
everything.
at
Yep.
the end of game. Like they've built upon so many ways to like just
Map
do
modifiers and stuff,
stuff.
right?
Do
Yeah.
stuff at the end game. What do you want to do? You want to do maps? Go ahead. You want to go fight raid bosses? Go fight raid bosses. You want to go craft items? Craft items. You want to play the market? Play the market. You want to sit in your hideout? Sit in your hideout. Like there is so many different things. Oh, you want to explore some content from 15 years ago? Go ahead. There's 500 different avenues to do that.
Oh,
Oh,
that's cool. I
like
didn't know that.
you can play any league from Path of Exile at any time that you want, just like it's that league again. You just play it how you want. Play the mechanics you want to play. And
Right.
in Diablo, me and Justin went back to Diablo 3 like right before Diablo 4 came out, and we played the crap out of it. We went all the way through the story. We made new characters, and we got to the end game, and we're like, "This is crap, dude. This game's
Yeah.
been out for eons, and there is nothing new. It plays the same way that I played it when I bought Reaper of Souls when it came out, dude. Nothing has changed, and it's been 7 years. Like, where is my content,
Yeah.
Blizzard? What are
That's the
you
thing.
doing over there? Sexualizing women and
And
fucking getting fired? Like,
Wait,
well,
what the
they're
hell are we
they're
doing
they're
over there?
they're doing the same thing in Diablo 4 too that they did with Diablo 3, where they're adding more like uniques, they're adding more stuff to do while progressing the game, but the end game loop is the end game loop, and they don't have other things to do at the end. It's literally run nightmare dungeons until your eyes bleed, and then once you're done running nightmare dungeons, all you've done with all of that nightmare dungeon running is level up like a glyph in your passive tree to then go fight Uber Lilith. And then once you fight Uber
Yeah.
Lilith, it's like, oh, you beat the game.
But, but
can we just
Justin, what about the Twee of Wispos?
can we just talk about how much like an actual like how much marketplaces matter so much in these games? Like
Oh
the
yeah.
reason PoE even still exists is because you have a public marketplace in which people can pay
How
like in-game
dare
currency.
they?
And you know what? So many people will talk so much crap on these marketplaces for like enabling RMT and like all this stuff. But dude, I'm sorry, every single game that has like a public market like that where you trade for in-game currency and or real currency, they all do well. CS2,
People are so
Tarkov,
addicted to it,
PoE,
man.
dude, it is
How?
end game content. You add a market to a game, and if Diablo 4 had a market where you could sell top tier items, people would continue playing it and they wouldn't complain because it's the in my opinion the best form of in game content.
Yeah.
Tarkov being another game that has like leagues, quote unquote, with its wipes, like people only still play that game because they get like this like endorphin shot of like cocaine rage when they get out of a raid with a Ledex in their inventory, or in PoE if Justin rips a mage blood from like a rare drop on a boss, it's like holy crap, I just made so many divs. It's like it's insane, or a mirror or two or whatever. Like it does so much for a game. It's like so
Old
unspokenly insane.
school, old school RuneScape
That's another
is
one.
15 That's another one.
15 years old, It's projected next month to break its all-time player record.
And we can all agree that the
15 years old.
and we can all agree that probably the only reason people still play that is because the market is so good, it incentivizes them to continue farming.
Big number drop, big number go on marketplace,
Mm-hmm.
money go up. That's
PoE
that's
is
the
OSRS
that's
does it.
the way.
PoE's
OSRS does it. Oh, go ahead, Jay.
PoE's also projected to have the highest player count in its next league as well as like with following RuneScape.
Dude, PoE does that every league. Dude.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do it. They do it every league, man. And it's just these. I feel like people are finally, instead of just sitting there like, why did no good games come out? People are just going, screw the new games, dude. I'm gonna go play the old games. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I really think there's like that kind of renaissance in gaming right now, where everyone's like, don't give us a new one, just give us the old one, but like a little tweaked. Like we don't want the new one. We want what works. Like
and when I say in-game market too, I don't mean like the crappy dog ass poop smeared market that New World had, because they tried it, but it was like town based.
Yeah.
And that's awful.
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
they changed that.
you
They
gotta
changed
give
that
me
almost immediately.
you gotta give me either a global auction house or you gotta give me like a third-party website I can go to.
I think the idea was there in that game though, because that game was supposed to be.
yeah,
They were
it
like,
was
we
there.
want each town to have its own market. Like if you want to sell something in an area, you got to truck it over
And
here.
then there's like the clan based, like
Yeah.
or like if you don't belong to this clan in this town, you have a tax. But
I
if you
feel like
don't, you have a lower tax, which was like kind of cool, but like it kind of ruins the marketing stuff, because then like you're playing your own game, but like you're playing your own game based off of what your game is telling you to do. It's kind of annoying. Like
well,
you
they
don't
just
really have
missed
that freedom.
out. They missed out on the whole thing. Like what makes that fun? You know, what makes,
Right.
oh, I got to bring this big, like, load of materials up to this, 2 towns over because they don't have any. And let me go check that out. But, like, oh, yeah, now I'm just walking for like 30 minutes and, now I'm here. Let me sell my stuff. How much cooler would it be? Like, oh, if you have this X amount, and this might not be interesting to all players, but like if you have this X amount of items in your inventory, you're flagged for PvP, buddy. Like you can get killed, bro. And you gotta like serpentine and jump over rocks and stuff and dodge these instead of it just being like, I'm a little bit fatter and a little bit slower and I'm walking in.
I
Like
just can't believe
just anything else.
I just can't believe any game like any of these games we're talking about don't have that. Like if they don't have a market system, it just doesn't make sense. Like thinking of like even just a game like CS2, right? Like you have people that play CS2 but don't play CS2. You have people who go
Yeah, they're
on
just gambling.
Steam, not even necessarily. Well, that too. That's a whole nother thing. But like barring gambling, you have people who just go on and like people like Onipixel, like he could not play the game and just sheerly purchase and open cases
That's
for the
gambling.
entirety of the game. You have people, I'm sure, you have people in Tarkov who get in it that load in on day one of wipe. They are level 1. They have no trader rep and they stay in their stash and all they do is just snipe low purchased, like very like they'll go on the marketplace and they'll look for stuff that is selling on the marketplace for less than a trader buys it. So all they do is they just profit money that way. I saw one dude with a TikTok who had like the in-game currency in Tarkov is rubles that had like 40 million rubles and hadn't played a single raid.
Yeah.
But he's still buffing player numbers even though he's not playing the game. Like Diablo's player
People
numbers
like
are so
that
low
market.
because people actually aren't opening the game at all.
Justin's a big market guy.
That's the thing too. In PoE, it's a whole other thing.
It's funny you say that because have you guys ever played TF2, Team Fortress?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Hat Simulator.
It's just like CS2.
I've never played a competitive match of TF2 in my life, and I have 2,500 hours in that game.
Yeah,
why?
dude.
Because
Dude,
I play the
I
market.
bet you could make like money playing
that
TF2, Justin.
TF2 is how I almost bought a whole computer doing TF2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I
I
bet if you were still doing TF2 to this day, you'd be making dosh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was one of those games where that was one of my first experiences with a game that had an open player market that incentivized uh ways to profit out of nothing, right? It was what gave me that trader game itch, for
Yeah,
sure.
and these developers only have to set up the format for the market. The pricing comes on its own because
Yep.
people decide what other people want to pay.
Yep.
It's like
Yeah.
the amount of effort that a dev has to put in to do that compared to putting a new character in a game is so much less. And it does so much more for the game. And it's crazy to me. Like genuinely insane to me. My head can't wrap around why a single studio, specifically Blizzard, wouldn't just think, let's do this. Like,
RWT.
why does it
It's
Yeah,
RWT, dude. It's
railroad trading,
literally
yeah,
it.
yeah, RMT, all that stuff. Like,
Yep.
I get that, but like, you're gonna get that anyways. Like, how many people sell accounts,
Y-
dude?
Yeah, but when you're a company like that, right? And you're like, "Oh, we're really working on, cracking down on RWT." People will like even people who want the market in the game will be like, "Wow, you're not helping things by supplying your own market." You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? So like
it,
not even including that. And dude, believe me, I am on your side 100,000%.
yeah,
How dare the devs of
yeah.
Diablo 4
So
talk about trade in
that's
any
that's
capacity
what I was
with
just
how
about
it
to
I
is
say.
was gonna
in
say
the
that
game?
too.
I was
How
just about to
dare
say,
they?
They
how is it fair that they're allowed to literally liquidate people's wallets with all of their stuff that they're putting in games, but the players who play it and make the game what it is for them
You
can't
can't
do it for
make money from
themselves?
it. Yeah.
It's so insane.
Not
Well,
only
so
that, dude,
there's a sect of player. Oh, sorry, Justin. Go ahead.
Diablo 4 said when I remember talking to Eddie about this when the game was being hyped for release. We were talking, I was like, "Ah, Eddie, I've seen, I've been watching all these different informational videos about Diablo 4 before it comes out and trying to get some information on it." And almost all of them said the same thing of they're going to integrate in-game trading to the game, and like there's going to be a trading system, and I was like, oh yes, I'm going to be able to trade in Diablo 4. It's going to be
Yep.
sick. Dude,
Yep.
they basically lied.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There
Hundred thousand
is
percent. They
there
lied.
there is trade in Diablo 4, but it's not trade. Like you can't
I
call that trade.
swear, I swear on several interviews that I watched with devs on the game, I heard word for word, we learned
Oh
from our
yeah.
mistakes
Yeah, yeah,
in
yeah, yeah.
Diablo 3 removing the trade auction house. We understand how much players like that, and we're going to integrate something that's similar and can scratch that itch
Mhm.
for our players in Diablo 4. And I heard that several different ways from several different devs. And what did we get? Oh, you can drop this item on the ground and somebody can pick it up.
Yeah.
And you know what?
Like, what is that?
This isn't just genre specific either. Like that's what's so crazy to me that like it's not just like any sort of ARPG
Yeah,
developer
dude,
is doing or
shooters are doing
FPS.
it.
There's
Dude,
any kind of
card
game. You can
games.
put a
Think of card games like MTG Online. Like
Hmm.
MTGO is the only one that has an open marketplace for cards. Like imagine if Arena had an open marketplace for cards where you could purchase and sell your cards that you get out of packs. Like imagine how many more people would play Arena.
Oh yeah,
Imagine how
dude.
many imagine how many more people would play Hearthstone, which is like our next subject. Like imagine how many people who play Hearthstone that would continue playing Hearthstone if they could instead of dusting their cards, sell them for in-game currency to buy more packs.
All right,
Dude,
we gotta
people
we gotta we gotta talk about how you're staying Hearthstone right now, though.
Well,
yeah,
so
facts.
so
It ain't Hearthstone.
Oh, Hearthstone, Hearth.
yeah,
Well,
It's
Hearth,
Hearth.
we're not
It's
gonna
a
have
hearth.
we're not gonna have
Hearth. All
time to
right.
get to the third subject, but so we'll just carry on this topic.
Yeah.
But I do agree that in card games and CCGs, I think Pokemon did it as well. Pokemon Online
Yeah.
also had
Yeah. Yeah.
open
Yeah. Yeah.
trade,
Yeah. Yep.
but being able to trade your cards that you've collected online to other players is actually huge for the games.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got to think about it, right? People still launch and play MTGO over Arena for that exact reason, that they have a
Yeah.
collection already there.
Mm-hmm.
and they have means to get more cards without dumping a ton of money into it. Now, MTG
Yeah.
Arena is a more casual format for newer players to get into. So I think it's a good system, but I do think that they should integrate open trade there as well.
Yep. Yeah, but why can't you have both, right? Like
But
I
yeah,
totally agree. Like it does really good for the kids that get into it and they want to just like dive in with like nothing. Sure, I understand how that works, but also like you have, I mean, you have in paper Magic, you have Magic the Gathering like websites, or you have websites that sell and rent out full like what was it, MTG Traders with Mana Traders, Mana Traders, you can rent out a whole like $50,000 vintage deck if you wanted to, if you pay monthly enough. Like, why does this not exist where you can just purchase cards for people on this video game? It doesn't make any sense.
yeah, buy as
You
gifts
have
or
these
just
companies.
buy as singles, even from the company itself, if you
It
could just buy
blows
singles.
my mind, dude. It's insane. I can't get over it. I can't get over how much marketplaces do for so many games, dude.
Yeah, man.
and and genre wide too. Like just in the mentality of gaming, it does so much for every
I,
game ever.
I wish every
Every game ever.
multiplayer had something like, dude, if I could go on League of Legends
And
and
trade a skin with
trade
somebody,
skins,
dude.
oh my god, dude.
Dude, I looked at
Holy
Keegan,
cow.
our buddy Keegan, whoever's watching the podcast, we have a buddy Keegan. Dude, I looked through his inventory. This guy plays 4 champions. I looked through his inventory the other day out of curiosity. This dude has like almost every skin in like for every character in like the what is it called? The shards, the skin shards.
Uh-huh.
Dude, if I could give him like $20 in currency for him to just trade me like half of those, I would pay for it. I'd pay for it instantaneously. Or like if I had a sick like a prestige skin for Zerath, Justin's main, why can't I give it to him? Why does that not exist? Why is that so far out of the realm of the mentality of the devs to just do that? Doesn't make any sense.
Dude,
Yeah.
I have just from playing this game, man, I have 166 skins in this game. I have 166 skins.
I don't even know
All
how
those
many I have.
skins, all those skins are worth like some of them are worth like $15 a piece,
Yeah,
dude.
I have 157, dude. You just made
Yeah,
me want
like
to vomit looking at my skin count.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, like I and I'm telling you right now, 144 of these I
you'd
did
never
not
touch.
buy. I did not
Okay, okay.
buy. I got all this just from playing the game. So maybe that's why, because the kind of like method of getting them now is not as bad. But dude, before the chest thing like was a thing, man, dude, skins were worth so much more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like they were
yeah,
actually worth the monetary value of the skin. The seasonal skins you couldn't get at any time. Like it was actually like you had to be on during the event
yeah. But like
or the
even
next year's
you
event.
could have an open marketplace for league skins too. I mean, I know that's a little bit of a stretch, but like, you know how many legacy skins that are like may never touch the shop again that would just be worth so much? Neo Pax Jax, the one that's in the shard shop right now or whatever it is. The dude that before that went back in the shop, that probably would have been like Renegade Raider in Fortnite, where
Dude,
people are
they
selling this
they
account for so much
actually
money.
yeah, they actually
Gutted,
like
gutted. So many
bent
people have.
people
Yeah,
over, dude, for that.
Yeah.
That is insane that they re-released that skin, and it's insane that they actually changed how that skin looks because it completely devalued it.
yeah,
Yeah.
Like nobody's buying accounts with that on it
Yeah, they
anymore.
just killed
And I mean,
all of that like time investment of like it
hmm
being exclusive for so long. Like that's why people have
yeah,
collectibles.
yeah, but at the same time, I feel like I said this to you the last time we talked about it, Justin, but it's not right. It's not incentivized to care about that.
Yeah, that's
You
right.
know,
true.
like, yeah, oh, it's cool that you have this rare skin, but there shouldn't be any value to that other than it's rare to you. Like, because Riot as a company is like, you're not allowed to sell accounts. So like
Yeah,
they're just like, oh, why does it matter if we re-release these old skins, even though they're rare? Like it's really just bragging rights at this point. So whatever. They
yeah,
don't care that the account that your account's worth $1,000 because it's on there.
Hmm.
You know.
yeah, yeah. It just actually like I like now that we've started talking about it, it bothers me that much more that like devs just can't think like they
It's
can't
not
say
devs
in a
though.
board. I know it's like the whole company and all that, and like all like RMT and all that. I get that, but
Devs give their 2 cents, but
yeah.
unfortunately, it's not always what the devs want, and unfortunately, the devs don't always play their own games, man. Like
Yeah,
they
but
just
why?
don't.
It's so crazy to me that these companies can't listen, like just listening to your community. Like
Yeah,
how many games just listening to your community do you think people would like play more just because they
but
listen to community like
how much
Tarkov?
time? How much time in a day at work do you think these employees get to listen to the community? Are you going home like, and this is like just an example, right? Are you
Right.
going home from work and trying to work more?
No.
Like
No.
so
Well,
it's tough.
who's to say that you can't have like who's to say that there can't be room in a video game's budget to throw 3 or 4 employees on like general research. Like there's research and
Not
development teams
us.
for a reason, right? Like there's general
Yeah.
like research and development teams like that exist for that reason. Oh, we
Yeah.
research and then we develop. Like that's literally so. Like who's to say that these people while they're at work can't just look through and see what the community wants and then try and develop a way to make it so that the team decides that hey, maybe in this next like maybe instead of us making a DLC where we make people pay $15 for this new character or they pay, in League specifically, 1500 essence for this character. How about we just make this marketplace? We just everybody wants it. Let's just do it. And if it doesn't work, we can take it back out of the game, If they don't like it, they hate it, we'll revert it. It's not that big of a deal. It's just crazy to me. I don't
Yeah.
I know it's not 100% up to the devs, but like, it's just insane to me that like it's such a difficult
S-
thing for like so many games to not like to wrap their head around. It's nuts.
We are running out of time here, but
I
thanks
want to keep
guys
talking.
for coming on today. We had some really good talking points. It's a good podcast. Um,
Heck yeah. Now you got to
heck
spend
yeah.
3 hours censoring all my F words.
Yep, censoring everything and then editing and
It's just
uploading.
mostly me. It's
Yeah.
mostly me.
It,
Just
it'll
listen for
it'll
when
be
I'm
all right.
speaking and
Yeah. I
No,
mean,
it's
we didn't swear in the first minute of the video, so it might be fine. We'll see.
yeah,
heck yeah.
for the first podcast video, this is gonna be a good one, but we're
Yep.
gonna try and release some. What are we thinking Thursday, Justin?
I'll try to release it by tomorrow.
We'll say probably Thursday or Friday of every week, and we're gonna try and
Yeah.
record every Wednesday. So,
Justin, we should sit down before we talk about Hearthstone on a podcast and,
yeah,
go through the 80 packs that I apparently have waiting for me and
Yeah, dude.
see
yeah.
what kind of value
Pop
And
those
if ever
we
you
get out
open.
guys,
of that.
We can have
if
you
ever,
open those while we're talking about it.
yeah, and
Yeah, dude.
if anybody listening to the podcast on YouTube ever wants to come in and chat with us, so I mean, we don't really pay attention to the chat too much when we're doing the podcast, but Justin is always live with the podcast, twitch.tv/Bikespokes. So,
Yeah.
Vice post.
Vice post. Bikes Bike spokes
Yeah, and
ARPG.
if you want to come in and talk to us, too bad you can't.
yeah, haha, gotcha.
Gotcha.
Um,
Your voice doesn't matter.
it could make things more smooth. You guys could throw in some inventory. Throw in some thought processes that I don't use or things that we miss or squander on, and it could help the podcast for sure.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for
All right,
watching.
thanks for hanging out.
Yeah.
Thanks for Eddie
Peace
for coming
out.
on and talking with us.
Yeah. We'll
Yeah,
see you
thanks for
later.
you coming on and talking with us.
Yeah. Thanks for me for talking on and coming on with us.
Yeah, thanks for
Yeah.
Justin.
Yeah.
Whoa.
All right, we'll see you guys soon. Peace.